Hey folks, what's going on? It's me, Andrew Westmoreland, back again with yet another stream. Now, I would like to personally apologize to anyone who was waiting for this. The original stream of this was supposed to be Friday, and I had an unexpected situation pop up where I had to train somebody. I was not informed of it, so I was unable to do the stream. Then I was trying to reschedule this for later in the day, and it wasn't happening. And then over the weekend there was a lot going on and I needed to recharge. I just wasn't feeling like streaming, so that's what happened. But now we're going to talk about this. So two topics on this main one, and then we're going to have another topic an hour from now. So I will stop this stream about 5-10 minutes before, depending on how much I feel like talking. Then I'll go into the next one. So if you are not familiar with this story, this broke over on Friday, really. I think it was actually on Wednesday, to be honest. Let me see. This one from Wired is the 12th, but I believe it started breaking either Wednesday or Thursday. And they were talking about the CIA got caught spying on people, like a bulk data collection program, just like the NSA did when the Snowden leaked that information. So we got to get into this. We need to figure out at what point do we say that enough is enough? Okay. At a certain point, we have to do something about this. Okay. So let's see. This week, funding anti-Russian resistant groups and hacktivists in Ukraine and being seized by the U.S. Department of Justice in a massive trove of launder. Wait, what? Why are we talking about cryptocurrency? Okay, let's just get into this. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Partially redacted documents released on Thursday night by the U.S. intelligence community reveal a secret CIA intelligence dragnet that has collected some Americans' data under a program that did not have congressional approval or oversight. Surprise, surprise. I think we anyone who's been paying attention or does any cursory kind of research on government agencies, they would know that the CIA is a rogue agency, meaning there is little to no oversight by Congress or even the executive branch, the presidency. Even the courts have very little oversight on these agencies. The CIA is just, they fly the American flag, but do their own thing, and there's zero accountability. So let's see. They've collected some Americans' data under a program that did not have congressional approval or oversight. Senate Intelligence Committee members Ron Wyden and Martin Heinrich, these are both Democrats, sent a letter to the Director of National Intelligence and CIA Director on April 13th, 2020, demanding that information about the program be declassified. This is interesting that these are senators, Democratic senators, which I'm surprised by this. Let's see, demanding that the program be declassified. Among the many details the public deserves to know are the nature of the CIA's relationship with its sources and the legal framework for collection, the senators wrote in their letter. Let's see. Let's see. So the program was authorized under the 1981 Presidential Executive Order, United States Intelligence Activities, referring to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. The center said in a statement on Thursday that FISA gets all the attention because of the periodic congressional reauthorizations and release of DOJ, OD&I, and FISA core documents. And the data collection programs. Let's see where we're at. Data collection programs Congress authorizes under the law. But what these documents demonstrate is that many of the same concerns that Americans have about their privacy and civil liberties also apply to how the CIA collects and handles information under executive order and outside the FISA law. Another thing is that the CIA does not have domestic jurisdiction. Typically speaking, they are not supposed to have any kind of operations happening inside of America. They need to focus on international type of business, and the NSA and or the FBI would deal with domestic issues. So the fact that the CIA is collecting data on Americans is incredibly illegal. It's definitely unlawful. It's unethical, and it should be treated as such. Whoever signed off on this, whoever authorized this, whoever created this program should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I think that's fair. I think that's absolutely fair to say this. The notorious Earn It Act is back. The Senate Judiciary Committee advanced a familiar bill, the Earn It Act, on Thursday. The legislation aims to increase tech companies' responsibility for child abuse materials posted or distributed through their services. Technologists and privacy advocates have repeatedly and urgently warned that Earn It would have significant cybersecurity and human rights implications by disincentivizing tech companies from implementing end-to-end encryption schemes. The legislation would force online services to earn some of the Section 230 protections that currently shield them from liability for material posted by their users. The bill was first introduced in 2020 and also advanced out of committee then. But it did not receive a floor vote before the end of the congressional session. So let me be very clear. Let's get into this. So in regards to like Section 230 and how a lot of these websites and platforms have this civil and criminal liability due to, if someone posts content on their website, hold on one second. Okay. So, in regards to the sorry about that. In regards to, Section 230, a lot of people have been saying that it's a great thing that these websites and platforms have that protection. But then we have this big debate on obviously it's being exploited. They're like, we can editorialize and do all this other stuff. Well, the problem is they're abusing it. So when it comes to illegal content, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? If they are aware of illegal content, there should be some kind of, I'm sure there is, they have a lot of responsibility to report it to law enforcement, and they should obviously delete it from their platform, or at least make it to where it's not publicly viewable, and just forward that information to law enforcement so they can deal with that. But this idea that the government would say, well, no, you have to earn Section 230 protections doesn't really make sense to me. Okay, you either have it or you don't. And this is like a half-ass way of trying to correct the loopholes or the problems of Section 230, instead of just amending it to make it to where those changes would be permanent and in that specific letter of law. They're not really interested in doing that. I think most of us agree that child abuse material is disgusting and should be dealt with harshly. But there's always this, let's play games and let's try and twist and turn things, and they're exploiting the system constantly. God damn it! I'll be right back. Busy as hell today. All right. Hopefully, I can continue without being interrupted for a fourth time. But I am at work, so it is what it is. All right, so let's go more into this. Google's Project Zero reports that developers are patching vulnerabilities faster. In a report this week, Google's Project Zero bug hunting team said that companies are getting faster at patching after the group discloses a vulnerability to them. Project Zero is known for setting deadlines for developers to release fixes for their products, anywhere from 7 to 90 days, depending on the severity of the bug. Once the deadline expires, sometimes with an additional grace period of up to 14 days, their group publicly discloses the flaws. Okay. But, I mean, basically, all this means to me is that the government and these big tech companies are obviously fighting each other constantly for power and control, and I guess trying to fix that kind of thing and adjust for that and make it fair for the average citizen is incredibly difficult, because you have two big players duking it out while the rest of us are just sat here having to deal with the fallout of what they decide to do. Stop share. Let's get into the next one here. Now, this one is this one is crazy. Let me make sure I mute the audio. I think what was happening before we had audio issues is the websites were overriding my microphone, and it would like switch the audio settings for some reason. It's bizarre. Now, This story is definitely weird because we're dealing with a situation with another one of these universities having like crazy people working there. So, a trail of red flags about his behavior toward women followed Matthew Harris on an academic journey that took him to three of the nation's most prestigious universities: Duke, Cornell, and then University of California, LA. Former graduate classmates at Duke and Cornell, where he studied before becoming a postdoctoral fellow at UCLA in recent years, described him as inappropriate and creepy, with obsessive behaviors like sending excessive emails and text messages to some women that became harassment, and at least one case, sexual harassment. Okay. Another said she changed her morning routine at Duke for weeks after Harris learned her schedule and texted her messages like I'm here, where are you? Okay. Now, last week, a SWAT team in Colorado arrested Harris after he allegedly emailed an 800-page document and posted videos threatening violence against dozens of people at UCLA. Okay. So my eyes are doing weird things. Now, again, this guy was a lecturer. I don't think he was a professor, but he was a lecturer at multiple schools here. And I don't know if I could say half of these words on YouTube because that's where we're streaming right now. But on a side note, it would be fantastic if Odyssey would let me stream on their platform. It'd be even better if Rumble would let me do it and not charge me money to stream. That would be fantastic. Instead of trying to pay Joe Rogan $100 million, how about you invest that money into better servers and bandwidth and stuff so people could stream? I think your platform would explode in popularity. Now, the so-called manifesto contained numerous racist threats and used words like, again, this is quoting the manifesto of this UCLA lecturer: bomb, kill, shoot, and more than 12,000 times. Not 12 times, not 120 times, not 1,200 times, 12,000 times he used threatening language. Like, this dude is clearly insane. Wearing a green wearing a green jail jumpsuit with his wrist handcuffs, Harris did not speak Tuesday during his brief appearance in federal court in Denver. Another hearing is scheduled February 23rd, and a judge ordered him to remain in federal custody without bail. Assistant federal public defender Jennifer Beck told the judge Harris is looking to hire private counsel. Beck did not immediately return a request for additional comment. In online class reviews, reviewers, and emails obtained by the AP, current and former students at all three universities alleged negligence by the schools for letting Harris slide previously, despite his concerning conduct. I have no idea how this guy is still teaching. One of his UCLA students wrote in October 2020 in an anonymous class review. Okay. So this is one of these problems with this kind of stuff is they are allowing psychopaths in these schools, and they don't address it. They don't fix these problems, and they just let it fester. When students or people make complaints, it's kind of just like brushed under the rug, and like, the dude is crazy. Okay. Now, the AP is not I don't think they're really getting into the bulk of what he's doing, but I'll keep reading. Actually, I thought that was the end of the articles. That's why I was about to stop, but let's keep going. 2 former Duke students who spoke to the AP on a condition of anonymity because of fear for their safety. Because the dude is insane. Said that while they did not report Harris to university officials at the time, his behavior was well known within the small philosophy program, and they did not feel they would have been supported by faculty if they'd come forward. Taken together in the years since major class shootings, or since major class shootings at Columbine High School, Virginia Tech, and elsewhere, the students' allegations at 3 top-tier colleges raises questions about the line between uncomfortable and actionable behavior. The university's duty to encourage encourage the reporting of it, and an institution's obligation to prevent it from occurring at another school. The students' descriptions of years of alarming behavior prompts another question. What, if anything, do the universities do to get Harris help? So they're saying everything, but they're alluding to everything except for what they're not going to where I'm saying. I'm saying, like, dude is just insane, and they're basically implying it like he clearly needs help. And I will tell you one of the reasons why. This man is black. He is a black man. He is woke. He is presumably highly educated. And for them to notice how there's no picture of him, right? So Matthew Harris. Let me see if we can. This is another one from the 1st of February. Oh my gosh. Former UCLA lecturer threatened to hunt a female professor. Is there still no photo of him, Matthew Harris? Hold on. All right. Let me share this screen. Stop. Share. Just so you could see what this guy looks like. This blown up one on the top right. That's Matthew Harris. I don't know. Like, I can't really. All I could tell you is what the articles are saying, and the dude is just he's not right in the head. And there were a lot of red flags that were ignored. Instead of trying to fix the problem and try to get the guy help, they just let it fester and like, well, you don't want to touch it. So it got to a point where people are concerned about violence and they're afraid to speak out. Let's see, a graduate student at Duke, as he completed his PhD in 20. Why do they do this? Why don't you just speak in plain English? A graduate student at Duke, as he completed his PhD. Just say a graduate student at Duke. Harris also attended Cornell for a year before UCLA hired him. Oh my gosh, hold on. It's getting nasty. Yeah. This whole man, I fucked this up. Okay. Let's see. A distinguished lecturer, a distinguished posting until he was put on investigatory leave last March after allegedly sending pornographic and violent content to his students. Clearly, Duke should not have passed him to us, and Duke and Cornell should not have passed him to UCLA. Adrian Tekoka, a Cornell philosophy graduate student whose time overlapped with Harris. we're just lucky that no one was physically that no one's been physically hurt. Certainly people have been psychologically damaged because he was apparently sending nudes and video pornographic videos of himself to female students. It's just like, come on, man. We're in this. First of all, this is like, where was the Me Too people? Where was the Me Too people? Fire Wake of the news media don't want to give that kind of news because he's black. And let's be real about that. That's exactly why, because he was black. And I'm like, dude, just report the news. Be honest about this stuff. Be honest about it, and we can, we can all be better for it. We can move on. We can fix problems. Instead, everything has to be weird. Like they just kind of brush this under the rug. Like no notice. So far, we are about halfway through this article, and there's no physical description of this guy. There's no photo of him, which is really interesting. Any other article, any other type of thing like this, they would plaster this dude's face everywhere. But because he has a white name, Matthew Harris, they just kind of make it seem like, oh, this was a white dude, a white creeper professor. Well, he's not even a professor, but he was educating students. He was a lecturer. So let's see. Is there anything else we need to talk about with this? Honestly, I don't think so. Just know that he's like violent and crazy, and like he threatened to hunt female professors and stuff like that. I guess to wrap up this particular stream, because I will be doing another one at 11, so in about 35 35 minutes. I will just say that the news cycle has gotten increasingly untenable. It is impossible for me to keep up, and this is somebody who, I don't want to say I constantly look at the news anymore. I used to. I would have notifications on my phone. It would just be, every 5 minutes I would get like 5 notifications from new news stories popping up, and it gets overwhelming. I'm checking news maybe 2-3 times a day. And even then it's like I can't keep up. And I'm like, well, that would be a whole video. That's a video. That's a video. It's like 5, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10 separate topics or news stories that I would be able to do a full, 10 minutes plus video on, let alone some of these for live stream. It's like, I can't keep up with that, dude. I can't keep up with that. There's just no way. There's just too much going on. And it's going so rapidly now. All of the changes that are happening to culture and society, everything that's happening, with human rights, with your constitutional rights changing, all of the protests around the world, all of the tyrannies regarding COVID and stuff like that. It's happening so rapidly that I'm noticing that people around me are becoming more and more detached and completely unaware. They have no clue whatsoever. I'm struggling to keep up with the news. Somebody who was a former journalist and tried to, understand what was going on. And my specific focus was, conflict and protests and stuff like that. So it's hard. And I'm noticing like people have no clue. I try to tell them things that like Biden just said this or did this or, whatever is going on, whatever it may be. And they're just completely unaware and they're just shocked and just like, and then other times just like, I can't watch this stuff. It's always depressing. I don't know what to do. I don't, I can't get involved. And I try to tell people, it's like, it only is this bad now because you're not involved, because you don't want to make any personal sacrifices to get involved in politics, to understand what's happening, try to follow the news. But with literacy, you got to be media literate, and you have to understand and read through the BS to get the actual meat and potatoes of these news stories. But and it takes work, it takes sacrifice. I'm not going to pretend like it's just easy, but life isn't going to be easy. If you are trying to be the best that you can be, the best person, the best citizen, it takes work. And a lot of people are just unwilling. They're just Americans have gotten selfish, lazy, complacent, fat. Uh, all people want to do is party. Like I completely avoided Super Bowl stuff. Like obviously people were talking about it online. I had personal friends who were talking about, oh, I'm going to a Super Bowl party, and they were even then they were like, I have to hype myself up to go to this party because they do not care about the Super Bowl at all. They clearly didn't want to go. They have zero interest, but I guess they got invited to some stuff and they had to hype themselves up. So I we just have to make better choices would be my suggestion. We need to do better as citizens, not only of our country but of the world, better people in general. And I think we could do that. And it doesn't everything doesn't have to be about, my religion is right, or my political affiliation is right, or whatever it is. It's like, dude, let's just focus on you first, trying to get you to be the best that you can be and be a better world citizen, a better person. And then, let's work on our family. Let's work on my close personal friendships. Let's work on my community. Let's work on my county or city and try to just go from there. Let's try to fix things, start from self and then slowly branch out. A lot of these big things, I don't expect everyone to be able to drop what they're doing and go to major cities, like, or everyone just go to DC, like, millions and tens of millions of people. It's like, it's not possible. And I get that, but you could do things locally. So I'm going to end this one there. I will be back in 30 minutes, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So 30 minutes from now, I will be back in that stream. We will be talking about the Democrats. It is confirmed that the Democrats spied on Trump during the 2016 campaign. It is a fact. It is verified, double verified, triple verified. And I can't wait to get into that one. So thank you so much for watching, if indeed you still are, and I will see you in about 30 minutes.